Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think that's good right there. You're deep in here. Oh my damn water. Alright. Okay. Yeah. That's peace. Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's get the show started. We are good. We are good. I hope y'all doing amazing on this Wednesday night. So let's get the show started. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I want to thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in episode 281. That's a lot of episodes, y'all. So again, I appreciate y'all support each and every episode. The show continues to grow and grow. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 14. So again, continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. It does help with the growth of the show. I do drop videos daily, and we're on every Sunday and every Wednesday. So again, I appreciate your support each and every time. Shout out to the chat. The chat is in here deep. Appreciate the chat already in here. Who we got up in here? Shout out to the chat, man. I'm not gonna say every single person, but I'm gonna show some love to the chat like I do always. Before we get into that, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button hyphenated sign in the word snaps.com. Again, that's the word button, then the hyphenated sign in the word snap.com. Remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. A stain is somebody that try to stand out by being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. Hate has a location, it's just not here. The only op we recognize over here is definitely opportunity. And I appreciate y'all as always, man. Again, shout out to the chat. The chat is in here thick and early. Pause. That did sound a little crazy, but hey, y'all know exactly what I meant, right? So shout out to the chat. Shout out to Elena in the building. Shout out to King P, one of our big badge holders. Day one's had his badge for over 2 years. Shout out to Culture in the building. Shout out to Hazel in the building. We got my girl Hazel Hennett in the building. Shout out to Tremont in the building. My dog Keesaw, what it do? Ash, salute my guy. My dude Ash, we need some new music. I got y'all. It's right around the corner. Trust me, I got y'all. Trust me, I got y'all. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Hey Ash, don't forget. Hey Ashley, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Great show and host. Appreciate that. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Appreciate that. All right, y'all. Let's move on. Let's get it popping. With no further ado, first segment of the night: popular opinions. This segment is brought to you by none other than OUV Records. Make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. Again, OUV Records on Instagram. Make sure y'all tap in and stay in tune. So first question of the night, first popular opinion question of the night. And y'all know the rules. These are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the question. Coolest sports brand on this list. Coolest sports brand on this list. Number one, Nike. Number two, Jordan. Number three, Adidas. Number four, Under Armour. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, coolest sports brand on this list. Coolest sports brand on this list. Number one, Nike. Number two, Jordan. Number three, Adidas. Number four, Under Armour. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. All of these brands are really huge in the sporting world. If you don't know, most college teams are subsidized by one of these four brands. other schools still have like an old school way of doing the things where they have their school actually, they have their local area make the uniforms, or New Balance, I know do a couple uniforms as well. But those schools honestly really don't got no money to get uniforms. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I believe Boston College is sponsored by New Balance, and it's like, who's sponsored by New Balance in football, right? Their brand, it doesn't look good as far as uniforms is concerned. But when I think of all sports, football, basketball, on and off the court, on and off the field, the coolest sports brand thus far has to be Nike. It has to be Nike. In the chat, I'm seeing a whole bunch of ones. I'm seeing chat going in on Nike. It has to be Nike. I'm talking about for all sports. Coolest sports brand. For all sports on and off the court, without a doubt, to me, is Nike. Not just on some lounging around, but again, the uniforms that they make is different. Me personally, when I look at college uniforms and universities, their swagger is tied into their brands, to be honest with you. Like, for example, like Notre Dame, I remember Notre Dame used to be kind of fly. That navy green and gold, that was kind of fly when they were sponsored by Nike. It don't feel the same that they when they were sponsored by Adidas. Now they sponsored by Under Armour. It looks a little better with Under Armour, but when they was with Adidas, they lost their swagger for a long time, to be honest with you. And Nike just captures the brand of each school better. Like, so any school that had Nike and went to Adidas, they lost their swag, because I don't feel like Adidas has ever got it right with the uniform. Like, the closest uniform that Adidas has tightened up a little bit on is Miami. But the Miami uniforms and jerseys and uniforms just used to look different with that Nike logo and their style to it. And that's the best that they can offer when it comes to Adidas, in my opinion. So they haven't got it right in a while. Jordan is like a close second, but in football alone, there's not many schools that is, sponsored by Jordan. Now, in basketball, there's several. But in football, you may have maybe 5 schools, and those schools do look fire. Uniforms, the cleats to go with it. Imagine wearing your football uniform and you got a matching pair of 1s, 11s, 12s, 13s. Like, it just looks crazy. But overall, I'm definitely going to go Nike. Shout out to the chat. I seen a whole bunch of ones in the chat. I seen a whole bunch of Nike. Shout out to my dog CC in the building. He says, salute Ash. Adidas just don't do it. Yo, shout out to my dog CC. To my dog CC. That's a fact. Like I don't know what it is. The teams that Nike used to do, and then Adidas took over, their swag just fell off. Like, when you talk about Nebraska, you talk about, again, Miami. It's just several schools that just lost that swagger. Notre Dame lost that swagger for a long time. Nike, to me, overall, football, basketball, the best sports brand in sports. So again, coolest sports brand on this list: Nike, Jordan, Adidas, Under Armour. The chat overall overwhelmingly went with Nike. I went with Nike. 37%. This was actually close. 37%. 44,000 people voted on this. Went with number 1, Nike, at 37%. That's it. And the only reason why it was close, because Jordan did come in at a close second. They did. They came in at a close second. I will say that. Jordan brand is basically a subsidiary of Nike, right? So you still get that same type of style, but it's Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So again, to me, that's almost like 1A, 1B. But it was close. It was close. I will say that. It was close. What Ebony said? Ebony said, Nike always wins. The Jordan 1s and retro dunks are unmatched. Dog CC, it's sort of like boxing, the boxing brands. You can get any brand, but Everlast is just different. That's a fact. When it comes to the boxing joint, no matter what you get, Everlast is they just top tier. You know what I'm saying? It's classic. It looks like boxing, feels like boxing when you have the apparel. So that's a fact. It makes you feel super official when you in that ring and you got that Everlast on your gloves or your shorts or whatever. It just feels super duper official. That's a fact. Shout out to my dog Cece. And remember, y'all, hit them likes, hit them 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. And again, this is episode 281. That's a lot of episodes, y'all. That's a lot. And again, I appreciate it each and every episode. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion question. Worst food chain on this list. Worst food chain on this list. Number 1, Subway. Number 2, Chick-fil-A. Number 3, Burger King. Number 4, Taco Bell. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Honestly, all of these are terrible. All of these are terrible. Again, worst food chain on this list. Worst food chain on this list. Number 1, Subway. Number 2, Chick-fil-A. Number 3, Burger King. Number 4, Taco Bell. Let me know what y'all think about that. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. All of these are very terrible. All of these is not good for you. Be careful what you put into your body, y'all, especially as you get older. I know when you're in your late teens and early 20s, you feel like your body's an armored tank. But guess what? Your body is a F-150, and you're putting garbage gas station gas in your jet. Like, that's what these chains, food-wise, you're doing to your body. That's how far away from the type of fuel that you need for your body that you're putting in. So all of these foods are terrible. But based on how they consume it, how they make it, how they do it, I'm going to go with Subway. Subway is absolutely terrible. Cold cuts in itself, doing my own research on cold cuts, and I grew up on the cold cuts. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing like missing school. The very rare occasion that I did, and mom was like, yo, you go get you a fresh sandwich, get you a little bev, we just going to chill and kick it. You know what I'm saying? Very rare indeed. But Subway for sure. Subway for sure. Not just the cold cuts and stuff, but how they handle the food, how they deal with the food. When they make your sandwich, they over your food. So you got to deal with them over your food. And the food itself is just terrible. No nutritional value. It's just a terrible source of fuel for your body. In the chat, I'm seeing 3s. I'm seeing 4s in the chat. So I'm seeing 3 and 4 in the chat. I'm going with Subway. So I'm seeing Burger King and Taco Bell in the chat. All right, so again, the question is worst food chain on this list. Number 1, Subway. Number 2, Chick-fil-A. Number 3, Burger King. Number 4, Taco Bell. Again, I'm going with Subway. In the chat, I'm seeing Burger King, Taco Bell, 39%. Mind y'all, 40,000 people voted on this 4,000 people voted on this. 4. So 4,000 people voted on this. 39% went with Taco Bell. Again, y'all, all of these foods is terrible to put in your body. Like, I'm just keeping it all the way a buck with you. None of these foods we supposed to be consuming like that. I'm serious, if at all. But I'm not mad at the Taco Bell choice. I'm not mad at it, because if you know, you know. Fake meat, that's not even real, like, vegetables. Like, I really used to think that Taco Bell operated with real food. I used to think that back in the day. Like, when I was in college, I used to think that. And maybe that was my own naiveness, because my school had its own version of Taco Bell, and we used to, watch them make the food. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I always used to think, that every Taco Bell kind of moved like that. No. All of these foods is terrible on this list as far as fast food chains. But Taco Bell, I will agree with Taco Bell is the worst fast food chain on this list. I said Subway originally, but the rest of the people went with Taco Bell, I'm gonna go with Taco Bell. Yeah, shout out to Ebony. My stomach hurts just looking at Taco Bell, but it tastes amazing. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. Taco Bell used to be scrumdiddlyumptious. I'm not gonna lie to you. That used to be a good time. Taco Bell used to be a good time. You get 2 crunch wraps and you just chill. You know what I'm saying? Them crunch wraps used to be, I don't know what it's like. I don't know what they used to put in crunch wraps, but they used to be amazing. But I haven't had Taco Bell in such a long time. I'm talking about years. After doing my own research on food, I was like, yeah, nah. Best thing I could have ever did was research food. And my grocery list used to be like $150. Now it's like it's like $60 because my palate has changed based on my information. So be careful what y'all put into your body at the end of the day, y'all. Remember, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our barbershop talk. So our barbershop talk for this episode is trying to find the right words for this. Okay, so I'm just going to tell y'all the story. So Nike just signed 11 of the top high school players to NIL deals in football. Again, Nike just signed 11 of the top high school players to NIL deals in football. So the barbershop talk is this. Is brands taking over high school sports? I would love to know what y'all think about that in the chat. I would love to know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, are the brands taking over high school sports? Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, on one end, I love this because I remember when I was in high school, athlete, doing my thing, I would have loved to get the coverage that these kids get now. They get to be on ESPN, they get to be on Fox, they get to be on all these different channels, and they get a whole lot of publicity. Now, interject social media and how we use social media to promote not just music or any type of other industry, but now sports is being promoted not just at the NFL level, not just at the college level, but now at the high school and little league. I literally seen a junior high school kid do a commitment to a high school. I seen a junior high school kid do a commitment to a high school. That doesn't happen, y'all. That's strictly for college. And now, based on what the younger kids are seeing from the older kids, people that's in college, people that's in high school, and in the pros, they're using that to market themselves early. And the reason why they're doing that, because they're getting a chance to get to that money. So again, is the brands taking over sports? Is the brands taking over college? Are they taking over sports in itself? Because when you think of the NFL and college, yeah, for sure. But now, is brands taking over high school sports? Because high school sports was supposed to be pure. High school sports was supposed to be the last time you get to really play for the love of the game while trying to aspire or get your education by a college, right? Or get a little money on the side. But now it's solely dictated with the brands. And it's going to get scary because, again, when I was in high school, early 2000s, and going into college, early 2000s, some of us that did go on to college, we got paid under the table, for sure. But we didn't pick colleges based on a brand influence with the NIL deal. Because let's keep it real. We just talked about brands. So if Nike signed 11 of the top football players in the country coming out of high school already, let's say they're in their junior year and they signed them already. if you're a Nike guy, you're not going to go to a school that is Adidas. You're not going to go to a school that is Under Armour or any other brand. You're going to go to a Nike school. So you're already dictating the game before you even really make a choice. Shout out to Big Paul. We got Big Paul in the building. One of our day ones in the building. Where you been? We miss you over here, Big Paul. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. You already know it helps with the growth of the show. Shout out to Big Paul, man. That's one of our day ones, man. But yeah, so again, are these brands taking over high school sports? Because this could get real tricky and real scary. Honestly, we kind of been introduced to this 20 years ago. LeBron James at 15, he was saying, yo, it's not fair that tennis guys, Olympic guys, they get a chance to basically go pro early. They get to go pro. If they 16, they get to go pro. I'm 16 years old. Why can't I go pro? I'm 15. Why can't I go pro next year? So of course, when he's a senior and it's time for him to pick a college and he's, going on college visits and things of that nature, guess what? Nike wanted to sign him, but they didn't, right? Then Adidas wanted to sign him. Then they couldn't. And he ended up with Nike, right? So if he ends up with Nike, and let's say a team like Notre Dame at the time wanted him and threw him the most NIL and, hey, we got a good team. Now if he signs with Nike, now he goes to Adidas school. He can't go to Adidas school and wear Nike apparel at an Adidas school. Doesn't work that way. Now, Notre Dame is an Under Armour school, but I'm talking about back then. See how that could get real tricky? So if you got players in high school, in their junior year, signing NIL deals with the brands directly, with Nike, like reported in here, they signed to them directly. You don't think them signing with that brand is going to dictate their college future? So the team, again, that's Adidas, New Balance, Under Armour, they don't even have a shot. It's over. He's just looking at Nike schools. So I think this could have a big and a huge impact on recruiting all in itself, just based on the brand. Just based on the brand. Like even Travis Hunter, he signed a deal with Adidas where Adidas basically brought on his little brother as a brand partner. So the brother gets apparel by Adidas, and he could say he's an Adidas athlete, right? But this dictates what school he goes to. Let's say Coach Deion Sanders want to recruit Travis Hunter's little brother. He's already with Adidas. Colorado is produced by Nike. So that knocks that out altogether unless he's willing to give up the deal with Adidas. And I'm pretty sure nobody is missing no checks. So me personally, I think it's definitely taking over college sports as a whole. And it already took over college sports, but it's definitely going to infiltrate its way to high school sports, in my opinion. So I definitely believe that these brands is taking over high school sports. And how crazy is that? Even as a parent, can you imagine as a parent, your child who is not even an adult, they're 16 years old, and now, like realistically, because their talent, they able to help with the rent around here if you need that type of help. Normally when it's mama, right, you want to help mama. It's like, yo, mom, I got $100,000. You, there's no discussion, man. Like, I'm gonna help you pay some bills around here. Like, I'm not having a conversation with you. I'm just gonna take care of it. Even at 16, that's my mindset to helping my mother. My dad, dude, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna find a way. I know you got it, but I'm gonna find a way to do something. That's just my mindset as their son. That's always been my mindset, right? I always wanted to make life easier for my parents, even though as I got older, they was able to make a way for themselves, right? But at the end of the day, it's nothing like being able to help out the household, especially at a young age. So can you imagine a company is saying today, hey, you can help change your life and your family life. You don't think that kid is going to take heed to that? You don't think that kid is going to take that $100,000 check? This is like damn near the new record business, the new old record business, where they hand you $100,000 check, $200,000 check, and you're 16 years old. Can you imagine that's the type of life that your family can have just based on your talent at that young age? Oh my goodness. Now I got a little money in college on the back end. I can't imagine when I was in high school what I would have got in high school. Oh my goodness. This just opens up the door for all types of possibilities when you think of these kids being able to make this type of money this early. So again, that was the barbershop talk for this episode. Again, I agree that the brands is taking over high school sports, and it's just a matter of time before it really gets really ridiculous, because we ain't seen nothing yet. Because again, the reason why I brought up LeBron James as well, another reason why I brought up LeBron James earlier about branding and how he did sign with Nike, and Adidas came in and gave their last dish offer, and then he ended up getting a Hummer, and they said the Hummer wasn't from these companies, that it was actually a gift from his mom or something like that, because these brands dictate these kids' future. And a lot of times when you hear negative things about kids, is because they wouldn't sign the deal or they didn't come through on the deal, and these brands kicked up some things so that way that kid won't be able to walk away unscathed. So this could have a very big effect on recruiting and obviously the impact on these kids' lives. So this is going to be crazy moving forward. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all know I love to promote an artist each and every episode. I have an artist, but I don't have their songs, which is going to just kind of piss me off. But my tonight's artist is Memphis Bleek. I'm going to go to my Memphis Bleek playlist. And I mention an artist, whether they new or old, whether they hip hop or R&B, reggae, whatever that they do, I shout out a fire artist. And for those who don't know, Memphis Bleek was a super fire artist. Shout out to the legend. He's a whole legend. I know people try to diss him, but he got songs. I'm gonna go to my playlist and mention a couple songs. So my first Michael Jackson award goes to his song, Like That. Fire, top tier song by Memphis Bleek. My second Michael Jackson award of Memphis Bleek song is For the Fam. No, that's a Mill song, excuse me. Hood Music featuring M.O.P. If you know, you know. You talk about top tier bars and lyricism, dog. Hood Music featuring M.O.P. next level. And my third and final Michael Jackson award by Memphis Bleek is Never. Make sure y'all put those three songs on your playlist. So my three Michael Jackson awards for Memphis Bleek is number 1, Hood Music, number 2, Never, and number 3, I said Like That. Yeah, so Like That, Hood Music, and Never. So make sure y'all put those three on y'all playlist, and those are my 3 Michael Jackson awards for Memphis Bleek. Fire music. So make sure y'all tap into that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. You already know we're about to get on that flight and send them the turkey or no. Send them the turkey or no. Y'all know the rules of the game. Type a T to send it to turkey, or we type an N not to send it to turkey. When people say and do crazy things, we send their ass to turkey. I covered a story where somebody was acting and he looked homosexual. The Turkish police, they put him in jail. So it became a whole segment on the show. All right, y'all. So first one of the night. First Cinnamon Turkey of the night. Sydney Starr, aka Sydney Favors, was arrested at the Embassy Suites in Hatfield, Georgia, and faces multiple felony charges, including aggravated child molestation, sodomy, and sexual battery against a minor under 16. Currently held without bail at Fulton County Jail. Uh, and Sydney Starr has denied all of these allegations and is going to let the process, let the process do its excuse me, let the just due process go. Shout out to Portia. She said my favorite segment. That's your favorite. I love that. I love that. I love that. Keeshaw, Ashley, imagine getting a Nike bag in high school and these kids are living the dream. The next generation of NBA is already locked down. Generation Nike is crazy. I believe that. I believe that. Absolutely, I believe that. I believe that for sure. I believe that for sure. Um, so yeah, so they said effing Turkey. So y'all sending her to Turkey. I'm definitely sending her to Turkey, or him to Turkey, or them to Turkey. Definitely sending them to Turkey, for sure. Now I first heard of Sydney Starr when there was an allegation of rapper Chingy with this individual. This individual lied and said that she had a relationship with Chingy, and the domino effect of Chingy's career, it really ruined it because people looked at him different, treated him different, and because of the stigma of homosexuality in rap, especially at that time, it was a career killer for sure. Um, and probably about 4 years ago, Sydney Starr came out. She was on I Love Hip Hop around this time, or maybe 5 years ago, and said that it was an absolute lie. She they was looking for attention, and you know he's Chingy and he was popping at the time, and she all she wanted was attention and to be popping. So you ruin this man's career, and all you got for him is I lied and I'm sorry. And the crazy thing, most people say, well, why he didn't sue her? Why he didn't sue her? It, like, when people don't got no money, what are you suing? You pay the lawyer more for the procedure than you're going to get money from. And then also to sue somebody, at least especially back then, you had to be in the same city. Now they changed that because of COVID and the different laws. You could sue somebody from your chair at home in Arizona, and they said some shit to you or said something about you in New York before you actually had to go to the city and had due process or have a lawyer in that particular city. Now they changed the whole process. But at the end of the day, if you paying the lawyer more money just to do the case and you don't get no money out of it, then what? So this person just had a sorry, I ruined this man's career, and that's all you got for him. And you see how things go full circle. Now Sydney Starr also again has denied all of these charges and allegations. This one is kind of difficult to deny. This is a police report. This is a police report. What is there to deny? What is there to deny? This is just a police report. When somebody denies something like this of this magnitude, they're hoping that the person that's accusing them for this supposed accusal, they hope that they get to their heart to drop the charges. That's what they're hoping for. Because in their right mind, it's like now you got to prove it, right? And if he is the actual victim, this 13-year-old kid, I believe, or 14-year-old kid, him being the victim, he's going to have to give said proof. And if his said proof is that compelling, guess what? This person is going to change their plea to guilty. That's how that works. Because if you try to go not guilty on mountains of evidence, all they got to do is prove one count. Guess what? You're looking at minimums. And those minimums could take you out for about half a decade. At least. At least. So most people, they do the not guilty thing for the public eye, and that's going to be the big headline, not guilty. But when things really happen and they take the plea deal later on, it's because of the evidence. And this in itself right here, to me, is just straight nasty. This is nasty. Now, it's not nasty that, it's not nasty that two people of the same sex do what they do. That's their business. I don't care to know their business. I'm a straight heterosexual man. I love women. Do I want to see that? Hell no. Do I want to watch that? Hell no. Do I patron that? Hell no. Do I know people that engage in that activity? Yes. Yes. And guess what? What they do in their bedroom is not my business. But the only reason why this is a headline is because this is a kid. It's not because of the act. It's because it's the kid is the point that I'm making. If this was an adult man, this would not be a story. Sydney Starr is not arrested because she was doing homosexual acts. No, she was doing these acts with a kid. That's what the story is about. That's why I say it's not nasty. You know what I mean? Like, what people do in the business of their home is the business of their home. Got nothing to do with me. But now you have kids and children who are under a certain age. Damn, that's a terrible look. You should be in jail. You're a predator. So the fact that this person is saying that they deny all allegations, they're hoping that the party that they was with don't have enough proof, or is going to recant their statement or drop the charges. But guess what? They're not going to drop the charges because there's certain charges, once they get too big, the person can't drop the charges. The state going to be like, nah, we got enough evidence, bro. If you don't want to communicate, if you don't want to, if you don't want to cooperate, we still going to charge this person. It will be easier if you was in on this, but hey, we got enough. This person is an endangerment to society. Now, if she got caught with this 13-year-old or 14-year-old or kid under 16, let's just say it like that, would it be far-fetched to say that this person did something like this prior to or prior before? Is it far-fetched to think or say that? So at the end of the day, being on that type of behavior, that type of child predatory type of behavior, that's somebody we can't have in society. Seriously, you got to get locked up. One thing to do something like that with an adult, somebody your age or somebody that is an adult. There's no fight with me over here. But now you're doing this with kids. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. And mind you, the history of your character is always going to be in question because you lied. So if you lied about Chingy, what else have you lied about? You lied about Chingy. Are you lying about this, saying that you deny all this and these things are untrue? So we're supposed to take your word based on your history? Make that make sense. So again, I hope that if she do get convicted, I hope she get the severe penalty of the law. Seriously, this kid is, again, under 16. Let's keep it real. If this was a dude messing with a young girl, everybody would have a problem with that, as they should. As they should. If this was a man messing with another boy, it's like, people like, yeah, we care, but we kind of don't. It's like, y'all got to make up your mind. I made up my mind. It's wrong. It's wrong. So I hope they get the severe penalty of the law. And again, based on their character and their behavior from prior to, yeah, I don't think we should be taking her word or their word as law. All right, so moving on to our next Senator Turkey or nah. A Hawaiian congressman candidate got put to sleep on the beach, if you know what I mean. I hope I'm saying his name right. Krillin Basson was arrested and faces 2 counts of first-degree terroristic threatening following a violent altercation at the beach in one of the beaches in Hawaii. Excuse me. The dispute began with a beachgoer asking Basson to turn his loud music down, leading Basson to allegedly pull a knife and threatening another bystander, and claim he would shoot a man's wife. Before police arrived, another bystander was a mixed martial artist in training, intervened and knocked Basson unconscious with a single punch. He currently being held on $1 million bail. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are you sending Basson, Mr. Basson, to Turkey or not? Y'all sending Mr. Basson to Turkey or not? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I seen the tape myself. That dude could not be a mixed martial artist. No. Now, I did not see the part where he had his music loud. All I saw was he's arguing with the couple. He did tell the husband of that couple, yo, I will put you down, I will bust you up, this, that, and the third. They called him a child. He goes off again. Then another man comes out of nowhere, slightly bigger, and was like, yo, chill out. Basson pushed him first. He pushed him. He got him up off of him. Once he got him up off of him, the guy pushed him back in very sloppy type of punch. He threw a sloppy punch and he caught him, bing, bing, and he fell back, right? He fell back. Oh, all right, cool. All right, this is not what I really want for real. But the guy came back for more. This guy Basson, he came back for more. And when he came back for more, the same guy, he was like, because Krillin was actually trying to hit him with a beach chair. The guy binged him again, right? But when they say mixed martial artists, it didn't look like mixed martial artists. It looked real sloppy. It looked real corner store type of fight. That's not mixed martial artists. If I was him, I wouldn't have said that. I would just like, yeah, I caught him with a nice, because it didn't look like martial artists in my opinion. But anyway, he did bing him. He did put him to sleep. And that's mainly because he got a weak jaw, but that's a whole nother story. He did wake him up. He tapped him on his chest. Hey, wake up. I don't need you dying on my watch. And he gets up and, you know, he's like, I'm pressing charges. I'm calling the cops. And yo, can you imagine going from talking shit and then saying you could beat everybody up, and then the one person you really say, yo, I could take you, bings you, put you to sleep, you know, right there, it's cool, all right, you know what I'm saying, it's cool, and wakes you up, and be like, yo, keep it humble next time, and you get up, and you like, nah, I'm calling the cops, you assaulted me, like, like what we do that at? So, me personally, I gotta send this man to Turkey. Me personally, I gotta send him to Turkey. I'm sending him to Turkey, me personally. And that's what I saw in the video. So I didn't know that the guy that binged him up was a mixed martial artist. Again, those are very sloppy punches. It looked like a bad fighter versus a worse fighter. And it's on the beach in Hawaii. You see what I'm saying? It's on the beach in Hawaii. You see what I'm saying? Like, it didn't look like mixed martial artists. It looked real sloppy, but I digress. He still binged him up. He still put him to sleep. And he had to wake him up. You know what I'm saying? Can't be dying on the beach getting binged up like that. So, me personally, I'm sending him to Turkey, me personally. And the crazy thing is, they saying that he made terroristic threats outside of the threat that, you know, he was going to call the cops and this, that, and the third. So, I can't imagine what he said after that. They did cut the video after that. They showed mainly the altercation and him walking off saying, I'm going to call the cops because you assaulted me. So he must have said something that crazy around the police officers for them to say, yo, nah, it's going to take a $1 million bond to get him out. And if y'all know about bonds, it's not really $1 million. It's basically $100,000. It's normally 10%. And if he has that type of assets, any type of bill bondsman would do that if, you know, they bring him enough funds. So that's how the bail works, right? And that in itself is going to be tricky. So, and this is not a good look because he was in the running for being a congressman. So this is going to be real interesting. If I'm Hawaii, this is not somebody I want representing Hawaii. No matter how mad you get, there's always going to be some sort of negative stigma on people that can't control a situation when you are in position to be somebody that delegates. When you're someone that delegates, meaning you're put in position because you make great decisions. And in this particular situation, you don't display that, then guess what? You're out of the running for that. You're not somebody that make great decisions because much is given, much is required. Very simple, very easy. So me personally, the video was funny. I will say that. And I'm sending his stupid ass to Turkey for sure. Shout out to the chat. Y'all going in the chat. Shout out to Paul. She said, what she said? Send him to Turkey. Keyshaw, no Turkey. People get beat up every day. Be Cameron voice. You stupid. Shout out to Keyshaw. Paul, maybe the sand played a part in his skills. I'm trying. It was real sloppy. Like it wasn't even like the punches. It was sloppy. Like a mixed martial artist, they got snap on their punches. Like you could tell how somebody moved. Like when somebody say they play a sport, right? You could tell by their footwork and their body mechanics, right? You could tell if somebody put up 1,000 shots. When somebody play football, right? You can tell how they run, because in football, nobody runs healthy, meaning like it hurts every time you run, and it looks like that, right? But me, with my trained eye, I can see it because I used to play some football. But he didn't look like he, you know what I'm saying? His footwork was sloppy, punches was like, maybe back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he's like a retired mixed martial artist. Maybe he did that like in his teens or early 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like he looked like he was about like 45, 46. It just looked really sloppy. So I can't give him that, you know, them skills. I ain't gonna lie. Stupid people get stupid prizes. The liquid courage will get you in trouble every time. Shout out to Paul. They redacted your statement. I didn't see it. And none of the mods took the statement off. The YouTube did that. You know how YouTube do me. So I'm definitely sending this dude to Turkey. And again, mainly because you couldn't control your emotions. Couldn't control your emotions. I know people get into it with people every day in the streets, and sometimes people could catch you at the wrong time. I get that. I've been known to crash out myself, but I'm not in the running for being a candidate of the Congress. I'm not in that position. All right, so, but you know, in my past, right? But this guy, he said out of his own mouth, he's 40 years old. You would think at 40 years old you could control yourself, have some sort of self-discipline, and make a better decision and avoid getting knocked the fuck out. You could tell he's never been in a fight. I could tell he's never been in a fight. He's kind of tall too. Like you could tell he's never been in a fight. A lot of people out here be bluffing. I've been seeing a lot of bluffing videos. People be bluffing. They talk a good one, it sound good. It can get crazy for you until you like, yo, what happened? I thought what was going on? I thought you was live like that. And mind you, he was the aggressor. So I'm sending this man to Turkey. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies. Wow. something on my eyes. Excuse me. Where you get to find some movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's button snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. Shout out to Paul. I agree, liquid courage get you in trouble every time at Key West the Great. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That liquid courage. I remember when I used to work at a club. This was before I got into music. This is how I got into music. Actually, I used to be a bartender at a nightclub, and the security will always be like, "Yo, I hate it after 5 o'clock because we used to stay open till 7, like 7 in the morning, y'all." And at 4 o'clock, we'll get that rush, right? It'll get super packed by 4 o'clock. But at 5 o'clock, management will allow the younger guys to come in because they want to make that extra money, right? Real quick. All right, we're about to close it up for the night. You know, let's get these little young kids in. And when the young kids came in the club and they get a little of that liquid courage in them, fights start happening all the time. How you want to fight and you got all these big butts around here? Ain't nothing but chocolate, juicy, wonderful, nice big old booties. You know what I'm saying? And you want to fight. Sexy women all over. You seen them thick thighs right there. Even the slim ones. Like, yo, is he nice? And you want to fight. You got on expensive shit and you came here to fight after you done had one drink. That liquid courage is something else. All right, y'all. Our first hot topic of the night. Clay Travis has upped his offer to the Las Vegas Aces for $10 million if they can beat a high school basketball team of his choosing. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I would love to know what y'all think about this in the chat. I covered this story months ago, maybe even a year ago. The same guy, Clay Travis, had offered about $1 million at the time to the WNBA players if they could beat a high school team of his choosing. And at that particular time, the WNBA was going through their financial situations as far as not getting paid enough money in their eyes. So $1 million for one team in the WNBA, especially at the time he proposed this, is bigger than their average game check. So this would have been a real come up for those players at the time. Now they've since signed a new deal with the WNBA, which is going to allow them to make up to $1 million with some of the players. Literally going to make over $1 million. Some other players is getting triple the amount of what they was getting prior to. So this new deal that they made with the WNBA has upped. So this $10 million that he's putting on the table, if they can win, is still way more than their game checks if they say, okay, let's do it, and if they win. So this is very interesting to me. In my opinion, do I like this? Yes. Yes, I do. Mainly because, one, it's a sport. Sport is made for challenges. And when people are confident about their skills and their sport level, they're going to show up and show out. But there's a repercussion for the WNBA. Like, let's be real. The WNBA is fighting for their professional life. They are. It's not a consistent product, even though they have women that can absolutely play. The girl Olivia Miles be balling. Like, she be balling. I'm going to tell you that right now. The no-look passes, the in and outs, the crossovers, the step-back three-point shots. And you got several other players that could just ball. The woman from the Aces is the best player in the league. I always forget the name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. She goes with Bam Adebayo. Girl is nice. She's nice. She's probably like the Jordan in that league. She's nice. And I can actually watch her play. Like, she's nice. Like, I know when I watch her play, she's going to give me good-looking basketball, meaning like the moves going to look good and she's going to play well. She's going to give me rebounds, she's going to score points, and she's going to do it with some sort of flair, right? But they're fighting for their professional life because the league in itself is subsidized by the NBA. Anytime what you do is subsidized by another company, then that means your company is struggling. Mind you, the WNBA didn't start yesterday. It didn't start 10 years ago. It's been around since the early 2000s. It's been a minute. And their lead is still struggling. Why wouldn't you take the deal? Because of the repercussion. If they lose, mind you, all the WNBA games is not being sold out the arena each and every game. Let's just keep it real. So now if they play against this high school team of his choosing and they lose, it would hurt their lead. It would, for sure. Because now it further stamps why would people support the lead. And most people that do support the lead is men. It's grown men. It's not even the women. It's grown men. And it's not like the rims is lowered where if we're watching a WNBA game, we're going to see women dunk, right? But in a high school game, we're going to see guys dunking. In high school, college, and in the NBA. So their league will honestly be in jeopardy if they played and lose this game. And mind you, I don't think that they would just lose. I think they would lose probably by like 15, 20 points. Like, let's just keep it real. Think about this, y'all. LeBron James was a high school player. He didn't go to college. He went to the league. Have you seen Carmelo Anthony before he went to college, before he went to Syracuse? Have you seen Stephon Marbury before he stepped on Georgia Tech campus? Did you see Allen Iverson play high school ball at Bethel? And I named these players on purpose because these players is not just tall, they're also short and skillful and fast, that can shoot, got handles, can lock you up. And those high school players, even when they was in high school, I don't see them losing to a WNBA team. And a collective of players like that, I don't see them losing. So they have a lot to lose, in my opinion, as far as their league interests, if they take this game, and I think they would lose, me personally. I think it would be a bad decision as far as their lead. Now, for me as a watcher, I would enjoy it because it's a spectacle. It's something to watch. Like, for real, it's a spectacle. We all love spectacles. That's why we love the boxing game. That's why we all love watching certain teams play when they play, right? That's why when you had the battle of the sexes in tennis back in the 80s, and I forget the woman that beat the guy, that was like a big thing back then. That's something you will want to see because it's a spectacle. So, on one end, as a viewer, I would want to see it. I would want to see it just to end this conversation because I already know what the conclusion is. And it's not being sexist. It's just the fact of genetics. And that's it. It's simple and plain. That's it. That's all. But as far as their reputation and trying to keep that league afloat, I don't think it'll be a good look on that aspect for them. Me personally. Shout out to my dog Vic. We got my dog Vic in the building. One of our day ones. He was a 5'6" guy dunking. Who you talking about Iverson? You saying 5'6"? Iverson was a 5'6" guy dunking. Shout out to Kiso, the WNBA players always complained about low salaries here in a single game to secure $10 million. That's what I said. $10 million is more than most of those players' game checks. And I'm talking about $10 million that they had to divvy within the team. So in the WNBA team, you got 12 players. You got 12 players. And I'm pretty sure they would divvy that according to their paying scale. So if their top player gets $1 million and their next player gets like 400,000, then it'll be to that paying scale, but just doubled. You know what I'm saying? So they would have weighed way more than that. He said, Marbury. Marbury was kind of tall. You said 5'6"? Nah, bro. In high school? Nah, bro. I'm from Brooklyn. Nah, Marbury in high school was at least 6 foot, bro. At least 6 foot. He was not no 5'6". Yo, damn, you got him mad short. Now I knew somebody in my high school blew me away. My first day of high school. It was my very first day of high school. I went to the gym. We have Albert King, Bernard King, all in my high school. They got all these records. I went to Fort Hamilton High School in Brooklyn, and I walked through the gym, and everybody trying to show up, show out, or whatever. And it was this guy. I'll never forget his name. His name was Earl Johnson. Shout out to Earl Johnson. And no, that's my other boy, Earl Johnson. Well, his name was Earl. I forget his last name, excuse me. But he was literally like 5'5", maybe 5'6". And he was like, yo, y'all want to see what I've been working on in the summer? Give me the ball. Took the ball, and the whole gym went crazy because he was a legit 5'6". He was wild short, like wild short with stupid hops. So shout out to Earl. That's still short. He said that's still short. That's 6 foot is short, but that ain't 5'6". It's 6 foot is not short, bro. 6 foot is not short. 6 foot is taller than the average man. So you can't say 6 foot is short. 6 foot is short for the NBA, not for the average dude. That 6 foot is taller than the average guy. 5'6" is the average height. You know what I'm saying? So he says he's bad short in high school. He's supposed to be short in high school, but 6 foot is legit. As a guard, that's legit in high school. But again, the point that I'm making is that Marbury in high school, ain't nobody stopping him in the WNBA. LeBron James in high school. Shit, LeBron James by his sophomore year. Come on, like it would look crazy. Carmelo Anthony. Like I could go on and on. Guys that I seen in high school play. It was guys that didn't even make it to the league that I seen play in high school that was dumb nice. I'm just saying, it would be a spectacle. Everybody and their mother would tune in. It would probably get the same type of ratings as the Super Bowl. I honestly believe that because people love a spectacle. Something that we don't see every day. If the WNBA agreed to their best 12 players, or the the Las Vegas team say we're gonna take this challenge. The Aces say we'll play any men's high school team out there and we'll beat them. And if they win, they get $10 million. I don't think they will do it, but if they did, everybody and their mother will see that game. If I'm this guy, what is his name again? Let me look him up. If I'm this guy, Clay Travis, and they agree to it, I'm putting this game on pay-per-view because I know everybody and their mother gonna want to see this. I know that for a fact. It's a smart business move. So I think the WNBA won't do it. I don't think they will do this, but at the end of the day, this will be a spectacle. I would love to see something like this as far as just the spectacle. But as far as their sport, it would not help their sport. It would not help their sport because women don't support the WNBA. Just keeping it a buck with y'all. He said, Marbury, that's what I meant. Okay, that's what you meant. Okay. All right, cool. He's like Iverson into sports. Yeah, and I seen Iverson in person. Iverson in person is same height as me, 6 foot. Well, I'm 5'11". Iverson really like 5'11", y'all. He's not 6 foot. He's like 5'11". And the things and when you see him in person, and to think of all the things he was doing in his prime against giants, against the Kembe Mutombo, against the Patrick Ewings, against Alonzo Mournings, the David Robinsons, the Tim Duncans, the Shaquille O'Neals, to the Rasheed Wallace, the Chris Watt. He was doing that shit to the Jordans. And you like, damn, you know how talented you got to be to do that against them? That's the 1% right there. That probably not even the 1%. That's the 0%. So shout out to Iverson. Iverson was different. He said Hakeem. Right, facts. Hakeem too. Sean Kemp. Like Iverson was bussing ass. And Iverson was going to the rack. He was going to the cuff. Like, yo, I'm gonna meet y'all at the cuff, you heard? It's cool. Keep it cool. Keep it humble. And Iverson was giving these dudes his work. So, and I couldn't imagine. Like, and we already know what it would look like, but imagine with Kyrie in high school. We see Kyrie now. That like we're not even gonna do that, right? But even Kyrie in high school, it wouldn't be fair. Have y'all ever seen Jason Williams play? Jason Williams, the point guard from Duke. Y'all see him all the time on ESPN. He's a analyst, an anchor man now. Yeah, fuck all that. Look up them Duke highlights. Then look up his high school highlights. He was going he was going crazy. He's without a doubt my favorite college point guard ever. When I say who's my top 5 or my starting 5 from college basketball, Jason Williams is always my number 1 guy. And we're just talking about college. Jason Williams is my number 1 guy. He used to give people buckets. He was a floor leader and gave people buckets. You seen him in high school, he was doing the same shit. Filthy dirty. You talking about white chocolate. Nah, not white chocolate. You talking about Jason Williams, white chocolate from Florida State. We're not talking about him. Jason Williams was a showman. He was a showman, but I'm talking about Jason Williams from Duke. Yeah, that played with Boozer and Shane Battier. He was the leader of that team. See what I'm saying? The leader of that team. And the only reason why he didn't do well in the NBA is because he got hurt. He got into a nasty motorcycle accident. He got hurt and it ruined his career. That's the only reason why. And he went to one of my favorite teams at the time was the Chicago Bulls, and we was ass for a long time. So when we got him, I was like, yo, it's about to get crazy. Then I hear a motorcycle accident. It wasn't the same after that. So for sure, Jason Williams. So I can't even watching him play in high school. He was a beast. So again, I mean, I said what I said. I want to regurgitate. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Wrap. Application fees don't lead to getting into a rental or a lease anymore. I feel like I had to speak about this because it's been an ongoing viral topic moving forward. A lot of people have been complaining. I wouldn't even say complaining. A lot of people have been making complaints to the leasing companies that own the place that they're trying to rent or try to lease or get an apartment or a house within the housing complex, that these leasing officers are taking the money from the actual leasing agreement as far as trying to get the application fee done. They would charge them anywhere from $150 to about like $350 for the application fee, and these people are not getting the units. And because of that, the places are making a whole lot of money, but they're not giving the places up, right? You could get an application fee to almost anywhere, and they will charge you anywhere from $150 and higher. Some places may charge you $50 or whatever the case may be. And then, do you have pets? Because if you got a dog, you got a cat, you got to put them on the list. And if you got a dog or a cat, that's an extra $70. $70 for a cat. They're not going to be paying no rent. I'm paying the rent. Yeah, nah. We want all animals. Cats, dogs, snakes. You have to pay the application fee for them too. So this has been an ongoing complaint moving forward when people are paying these application fees and not getting the actual apartment or actual unit or the actual housing place. Because there's subdivisions where you're paying rent as like rent for an apartment, but instead of having an apartment, you have a house. They do that all over Florida, and I'm pretty sure they do it in other places too, where there's an actual like a cul-de-sac or a housing place where they just have houses and you rent that house or whatever. And they charging people anywhere from $150 to $350 for the actual application fee. Pay their money, and guess what? They do not get the unit. So this has been an ongoing thing, and it's been absolute nasty. Shout out to the chat. Application fees are the biggest legal scam in the housing market. That's a fact. Landlords are making more money. Landlords are making more money off the fees than the actual rent. I wouldn't go that far, but you know, it could be something to say about that for sure. Because the rent in itself, most renting units, people are making, if you like, think about it like this: if your rent is $2,300 a month, they're making at least about $32,000 just on your unit a year. That's good money, you know what I'm saying? And imagine if they have 10 other units that's just like yours on your floor. My goodness. My goodness. My goodness. That's a whole lot of money, I'll tell you that much. A whole lot of money. So a lot of people, like I said, but there's ways to doing this, y'all. Like why give a company or these offices your money if you're not in line to get in the apartment? Like, it's either you on the track to get an apartment or you're not. What do that mean? Okay, when I speak to whoever the manager is, okay, I'm interested in this apartment. Okay, but we do have an application fee that you must take care of. I hear all that. But my thing is, do I qualify for this apartment? And you can qualify for the apartment before you even do the application fee. Now, some companies or some places may say, oh, yeah, we got to do the application fee first, then. Nah. Because a part of my security deposit and my first month rent and my last month rent, a part of it will be my application fee. And if all of these things is required, then my application fee will happen once I get the apartment or once I get the unit or the housing, or the housing unit. Either way. But the application fee, when you're in line to get a place, normally is not the first thing you do. It's mentioned, hey, if you get this spot, if we choose you, not only you have to pay the security deposit in the first month, you have to pay the application fee. And you have to pay the application fee for you, everybody else that's going to live in here, and your pets. And that's normally how it works. So people that are paying the application fee, you're doing it wrong. And if a company present that the way that it is, then you move on to another place. It's just that simple. That's how that works, y'all. And it's really the case of, if you know it, you know it. And what do that mean, Ash? Meaning, like, if you know the rules, they not going to challenge the rules, because that's the rules. Just that simple. Same thing when you go to the store, right? When you go to the store and you buy this shit, okay, cool. You didn't know that they had a discount on the thing. Do your store do price match? We do. Oh, okay. So if I wouldn't have said it, they wouldn't apply the price match. This thing right now is $40. On price match, it's $8.99. So if you know, you know. So if you tell them, no, that's not how it works. If I get the apartment, I'll pay, again, the security first month. In some states, they want last month on top of that. And you pay the application fee then. Not, I'm going to pay the application fee. Give me a call if I get the spot. They never going to give you a call because you don't know the game. That's easy money right there. So, shout out to who we got in the shout out my dog Cece. We got Washida in the building. Appreciate Washida for tapping in. She said peace and love. Ashley Lovechild. Appreciate you as always, Washida. Hit them hearts, hit the 100s. You already know it helps with the growth of the show. Cece, that's banks all day. The fees add up. That's a fact. That's a fact. I overdrawed a couple times last week, and I'm like, yo, like, what's all these adages? And it was like, yo, you overdrawn like 5 times in one day. I said, I did? And I just paid it, but I was like, you just got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? When you know, you know. So now I know I'm paying attention more. But I'm just saying, as far as this particular subject in itself, again, people, when you do application fees, the application fee is something that you make hit. You make it work for you. If I get the spot, when I get the spot, if I get the spot, then I'll pay that application fee then. I'm not giving you $150, $350 just to keep my application fee on file, knowing I'm not getting the spot. Knowing that. No, you do all what you need to do. You get the spot, then, all right, cool. You get this, and here's the application fee we talked about. All right, cool, I got that. Cool. So that's how you do that, y'all. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. And remember, y'all, this is episode 281. We're on every Wednesday, every Sunday. And I appreciate the love, as always. And if you want to tap into me outside of YouTube, you can hit me on any platform at Ashley Lovechild. I'm on every single thing. So make sure y'all come through and show love. All right, y'all. Next hot topic. Question. Hold on, before I go on, shout out to the chat, shout out to Keesaw. Property managers use automatic background checks that cost them $5 but charge you $200. See what I'm saying? That's a fact. Shout out to Keesaw. Keesaw, you been cooking, man. Shout out to Keesaw, man. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Question. Will NBA 2K27 live up to the hype? Again, will NBA 2K27 live up to the hype? I would love to know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, I would love to know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Ashida. She said, "Wow, yeah." Based on the last topic, yes, a lot of these property managers get people. Yeah, we'll keep your record on file. We'll keep you on file, but to keep your record on file, you do have to pay the application fee, and that fee could be anywhere from $150 and higher, especially if you got pets. So if your application fee is $250, yeah, I got 2 dogs. Oh, that's beautiful, great. Well, the application fee have now gone up to $425 because those pets is $80 a piece, and we're adding this and it. So them application fee gets nasty if you don't know what you're doing. The only time the application fee is supposed to start, or basically you pay the application fee, is when you actually get the spot. That's how that's supposed to work. Anytime a company tell you, hey, yeah, just break us off and we keep it on file, you better not do it. You playing boo-boo the fool. Again, question is, will NBA 2K27 live up to the hype? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I'm gonna keep this real sweet on this particular topic. I've been seeing the credits, I've been seeing the trailers, and every year the trailer looks absolutely amazing. It looks like I can't wait to get my hands on this, especially if you're a gamer, especially if you enjoy playing basketball games, right? I have to be honest, 2K for the last at least 7 years have been absolute ass. It's just been complete dog shit. It's dog shit. It looks amazing. Graphics, whoo, sweet. It just, the jersey is jumping on their body, pause. You can see the sweat, like you feel like you're in the game. But the play animation has been garbage. It's been garbage. just straight garbage. At least for the last decade. I want to say the last 2K that I enjoyed was probably 2K19, and 2K18 I thought was better than that because you had signature moves. Each player had their own signature move. It felt like it had like a real in-game pro style where it's like, all right, if you got this player, you could do this move, and that's his signature move. He shoots this way, and you don't have to hold the meter short, and this it's automatic. Like when he shoot it like that. You know what I'm saying? And that was the gameplay. But the gameplay have been dog shit since 2K19. Like, I have to be honest. It's been dog shit. I hope that this year in itself, that the gameplay is on a whole nother level. This thing called next gen gaming or next gen. It's something with next gen. It's supposed to have a realism to the game that just like it gets as close as possible, right? We need that. I've seen guys do modifications to 2K. It's not on, I forget what it's actually on, but it looked absolutely amazing. I wish I remembered exactly what it was, but it looked fire. And there's no way that these guys at home could modify their game and to make it look like that. And 2K, who got all the money on, got all the animation package, give us this bullshit ass what we've been getting. I haven't even bought 2K26. I didn't buy 2K25. They've been absolute ass. That last 2K that I got is 2K24. Because when I seen 2K25, 26, it was ass. I'm not buying this. But because there's such a new energy in the NBA this year, the rookies that we have, it feel like it's 2003. It really feel more like 96, because 96 to me is the best NBA draft we ever had. But this year's draft is unbelievable. These guys are going to be absolute stars. And what makes it more beautiful is that our older stars is on their way out. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, all the Klay Thomas, all the older guys, Kawhi Leonard, all these guys is on their way out the league. It's over. They're about to go home. And we got these young guys who can really play, who's going to be stars on their team, or at least have the opportunity to be that. All the opportunity in the world potential. Can we get a gaming console that we enjoy? Like, I ain't gonna hold you. I used to like playing 2K more than I like playing Madden. Ain't nothing better than college football though. Like, let's get that straight. But 2K was in a close second for me. A close second. I go on for months playing 2K back in the day. Now, this shit is ass. Absolute dog shit. So I hope, for the sake of the game and the reputation of the game, that they step it up. Get that next, what they call that next gen, that make this shit real. You want people playing this game for hours. Like last year's Madden game was Chef's Kiss. It was the best Madden game I've ever played in my life was Madden 2026. The best, to me, what was better than that was college football 2025. But Madden 26 hit different. I ain't never enjoyed a Madden game like I enjoyed Madden 26. 2K need to step this shit up. And they've been lazy because they don't have the competition. Mind y'all, 2K wasn't always that game. It wasn't 2K. It was NBA Live. NBA Live was the premier NBA game for years. Up until like 99 or 2000, 2K came back out and they just upped the ante. It was like, damn, look at the dribble. Everything felt real. And for the past 7 years, 8 years, it's been absolute dog shit. And I'm not even hyped to get the game. Like, you ain't getting no previews. I'm waiting for what the people gonna say. When the game come out, I'm gonna wait till what the people gonna say. And I'm an early game getter. I can't wait. And when the game come out, yeah, give me the early package. Yeah, 5 days, yeah, I don't care. You gotta pay an extra $15. I don't care. I want the early game. I want to play. It's available. I want to play. This game, no, I'm gonna wait. I'll wait. Y'all play it. Y'all play it. Let me know how this go. Cause if it's dog shit, why am I need to buy dog shit? No, 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 no. 2K needs to step it up, especially because of the new crop of players that we got. Especially with the new NBA this year. You got all these stars on different teams. You got LeBron James and Jaylen Brown on the same team in 76ers with two young killers in Maxey and Edgecombe. And you got an all-purpose player like Joel Embiid. And if he stays healthy for once, oh my goodness. The Knicks is finally good. I don't care for it, but the NBA is better when the Knicks is good. You got all these teams who are good because these young players is coming into the league and taking over these teams. And you got all these older guys getting together. Pause. Love it. Now, can we get a goddamn 2K game that match a good game that we can play? Please. And I don't know what it is about PS5, but the game's been lacking, bro. And all my friends used to joke on me because I kept my PS3. I was a PS3 boy. PS3 boy until College Football 25 came out. I had my PS3 at 2025. My boy's like, yo, you still playing the PS3, bro? Yes. Nigga. Got all the best games in the world. I'm still playing college football. Still playing a really good 2K game. And I'm playing Madden and San Andreas. Oh, that's a good time right there. 2025 come out. College football come out. All right, I'll get the PS5. Then that was my only prerequisite. I would never get a PS5 unless college football came back out. And when it did, I got it. Now that I got it, please make a better 2K game, please. Like, this shit is just terrible. It's a bad look on a company where they copy and paste their gameplay. Y'all think it's sweet? Y'all think y'all just gonna get this money? Nah. Ain't sweet. Y'all ain't just gonna get this money no more. Produce a better game, then get money. What they say in what's the movie? Put money in the bag, then get money. Do that first. In Killer Season, yeah, put the money in the bag, then get money. You know what I'm saying? Put out a good game, then get money. Yo, y'all crack it up at the chat. He said, yo, y'all crack it up in the chat. I love it. I love it. He said, dog shit. Where is home for them? You being funny. She said you look happy, but not happy about the new 2K. 2K done got on your nerves in this century. Now that's a fact. The whole 2020. Imagine from 2020, this shit is just ass. Like, you feel me? Like, we in 2026. This been ass. What y'all been doing? Y'all got it's PS5. That means this shit gonna be fly shit. This is gonna look good. It's supposed like what's the good shit? Shit been ass. Just pure baby shit. And it's frustrating because you really like. I use video games to mellow out. I have a lot on my plate, so I use the video games to mellow out. Almost like I had to laugh at somebody. Like somebody said something to me crazy, and I laughed. I was like, "Oh my God, I almost killed you just now!" Like, "Oh my God!" Like, let me walk away. Woo! And I get on the games, and it just calms me down. It's a good time. 2K, I gotta do better. Y'all cracking up in the chat, yo. Y'all funny. This is probably why the game is no good first day. Got to check out the new players. Give us some time. The graphics is peak 5 years ago. He said the graphics peaked 5 years ago. That's a fact. Like, again, the graphics be on a whole nother level. But the gameplay, people are complaining about the gameplay. Get the gameplay right. And that's the thing about, like, about video gaming. You want to enjoy this shit. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, this shit is expensive. It's not cheap. And then like, and again, because it was PS3, they didn't have all these like in-game buys and shit. Like that's one thing about PS3. Once you got the game, you played the game. You want to play my player, you could get him better by playing more games. You couldn't buy your way up. In order to wear certain sneakers out the goddamn store, you gotta buy the shit like real money. Like what? And you can only use it for that player, which is crazy. Now imagine spending $5 just to wear Jordan 11s in a goddamn video game when back in 2019 it was free. And they just charging shit. They just doing shit because we allow it. Just make a better game, y'all, please. Shit. Got me like really cursing. Like, dang. All right, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. A question. HBCUs was not a question. HBCUs don't attempt to recruit 4- and 5-star players anymore. I would love to know why in the chat, as far as y'all reason in the chat. Again, HBCUs, meaning historically black college universities. And y'all know I hate saying that word black because that's not what we are. We're not dirt. We're not muddy. We're not dirty. We're not stinky. We're not foul. We're not 3/5 of a human being or people. So I hate using that word, but for conversational reference, HBCUs don't attempt to recruit 4- and 5-star athletes at all. And I would love to know why y'all think that is so in the chat. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. And remember, y'all, if this is your first time tuning in and tapping in, I am Ashley Lovechild, Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast, episode 281, which is a lot of episodes, and I do drop videos daily. So continue to engage. I do jump in the comments. And even if I don't agree, I still jump in the comments, show you some love. If you're trolling, though, yeah. Shout out to Paul. We got Big Paul. She said, I agree. Pure baby shit. Not grown up shit. Well, she think you stupid. Absolutely, that would be embarrassing. That's yeah. So again, why is HBCUs not recruiting 4- or 5-star athletes at all? They're not even making an attempt to even recruit those guys. Now, the last 5-star athlete, well, he wasn't a 4-star, he was a 5-star athlete that went to a HBCU, was Travis Hunter, choosing Deion Sanders and Jackson State over Florida State. And if you know, that is huge news. That is huge news. Is multi-levels of that. Deion Sanders went to Florida State. When Deion Sanders became a coach, Florida State chose another person over Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders then go to Jackson State. Travis Hunter, one of the #1 recruits in the world. He was #1 at his positions. He played receiver and corner. So instead of him going to Florida State, and he was committed to Florida State already, he was committed. He decommits from Florida State, goes to Jackson State with Deion Sanders. Found that quite interesting. But Deion Sanders, in my opinion, if he would have stayed at Jackson State, he would have been on pace to be the first coach that coaches at HBCUs that would get or sign 5-star players on a regular basis. Because I don't believe that would have been his only one. Mind you, Shador was a 4-star. Some people say 3, but he was a 4-star quarterback. Argue with whoever you want to argue with. But the point that I'm making is HBCUs don't go after 4- or 5-star athletes. It's because they're lazy. I said it. They're lazy. And what I mean by lazy, they're lazy in how they run their program. They're lazy in how they run their school. If you run your school lazy and raggedy, what you think the sporting program is going to be? Or the sports program is going to look like? It's going to look like lazy dog shit. There was one coach back in the day in the 90s, and he would get so much love and reverence. And as I got older, I understood why. He used to be a coach for Grambling State. His name was Eddie Robinson. And he put a whole lot of guys in the NFL from HBCUs. A lot of guys. Grambling State has a long-standing tradition in being great in football because of Eddie Robinson. And he won over 400 games as a coach at Grambling State. That's a level of excellence that doesn't come around. But in order for him to do that, the school couldn't allow themselves to be fucking raggedy. And when you do the research at majority of these HBCUs, especially the ones that have football teams, they are run raggedy. And the ones that are not, they get out of the lead. Hampton traditionally is a HBCU. But because they don't run the school raggedy, they don't run their football program raggedy, they put several guys in the NFL. Guess what? They don't play in that division anymore. They got up out of there. They play in a higher division because they don't run their school raggedy. They actually take their school serious. So when you do the research on a lot of these schools, they're not well kept. So what you think their sports program is going to look like? It's going to look like what I said earlier. It's going to look like absolute dog shit. How can you have the students take pride in something if you as an administration doesn't take pride in it? It's not about putting money to everything. It's always having the right people, not just the convenient people. So when you're trying to attract 4- and 5-star athletes, which matters because let's keep it real, you're not going to get 80,000 people to show up to a chemistry test or something like that, or a chemistry event. You're not getting that. People come out to see the sports, whether it's football or whether it's basketball, especially football. If football at your school is ass, then your school is probably struggling. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you got an ass football team, your school is struggling. That is a fact. That's something I won't argue with anybody on any level when it comes to any type of school. Your school is ass. Your funding is terrible. And that's a part of the reason why HBCUs is having terrible outcomes when it comes to recruiting. Now, the beautiful thing about this, they're trying to put a rule through in the new college rules as far as football or all sports. You get 5 for 5. And what that means, you get 5 years of eligibility to play 5 years. That does nothing for the high school kids. That does nothing for them. This doesn't mean that because they're going to leave college in 5 years, the next group of high school kids doesn't mean they're going to get their shot any faster, any quicker. Doesn't mean that. It would make way more sense if they gave college athletes 6 years to play 4, because that's a year that they're not going to play. And when guys are really good, they generally leave a year prior to. So that leaves more spots on your team. But they got 5 for 5 now. 5 for 5. So what that means is high school students is not being recruited by a lot of D1 big programs. So now when you talk about HBCUs, you have free reign to recruit high school players straight out of high school. You don't have to wait for them to go to JUCO. You don't have to wait for them to go to prep school. They could just come straight to you and they could get right to the development. Doesn't have to be 4-star. Doesn't have to be 5-star guy. This is a developmental program. And instead of the program, make the whole league development. All right, I know you want to go to Ohio State, bro, but guess what? They don't got space for you over there. And all the other schools, they got a whole bunch of seniors that's still on their 5th year. Come to us. We'll take you right now. We'll take you right now. We get this thing popping. But that's the biggest reason why that HBCUs has been struggling, is because their programs are raggedy and how they run it. The school is raggedy. The program, the sports program is raggedy. Now there's a couple that do their business. Delaware State does their business. Norfolk State does their business. Virginia State, from what I know, handles their business. They don't get 4- or 5-star guys, but they have a program that works where they get guys in to their D2 program and they pump out a team. They don't have an issue with filling the team up with some sort of talent. So they talking about 4- or 5-star guys. You can recruit 4- or 5-star guys if, 1, your school is not ran raggedy. Number 2, your program has a real direction. And 3, location is always going to be a factor. So for example, if you're a school in Mississippi, ain't nobody, like, if you ain't from Mississippi, ain't nobody really want to come to Mississippi. But the allure to coming to Mississippi is having something outside of college. And what do that mean? All right, if you come here, you get resources that you wouldn't have got at any other school. You get a business structure that you wouldn't have got at another school. And you get acclimated to Memphis. And the beautiful thing about Memphis, it's cheap. That same house that you would get for $500,000, $600,000 somewhere else, here in, I said Memphis, here in Mississippi, you get that same house for $280,000. I kept saying Memphis. Here in Mississippi, you get this here for $280,000. That will be the allure. Damn, I could have a house by 22, $280,000, my college degree. Cool, I got my friends that I graduated. They doing this, they doing that. We could link up with business. That's having access and resources. That would be the hook on grabbing a high school kid that other schools, they would like him, but they don't got no money for him. They don't even have a plan for him. Like, yeah, we'll bring you here, bro, but you're not gonna get no NIL. All players don't get NIL. You're not gonna get this NIL. You gotta work your way. You gotta work your way up, bro. You like 10th on the depth chart. Just gonna keep it a buck. But at HBCU could come in and say, hey, you don't have to be 10th on the depth chart. We'll bring you in and we'll develop you. And off the back, you'll probably be 4th on the depth chart. But if you shine early, shit, you'll play early. You could be 4th string Monday, but shit, come game day, you be 1st string out this month if you show up and show out. It's a simple plan, and we seen it through Deion Sanders. Now I know what people are gonna say. It's Deion Sanders. It's Deion Sanders. He's charismatic, but at the end of the day, he's not the only charismatic coach in the world. He showed a blueprint of what you can do. Before he got to Jackson State, he was the only coach that utilized YouTube. How many colleges we got? How many football colleges? How many college football teams we got? And he's one of the few coaches that utilize YouTube. It took him to come to show you how to utilize YouTube, and he's an older man. Do this make sense? Dog shit. So at the end of the day, he showed a blueprint. Utilize YouTube as a recruiting tool. Have your school not be raggedy. Have your program not be raggedy. And guess what? As you build your program now, when you approach a 4-star athlete, 5-star athlete, yeah, we developed this kid and that kid, and we send them to the NFL. We would like you to be the same way, but we think we think your travels or journey could be even faster. And now we have the resources. I know Ohio State is promising you 100 grand. We can't do 100 grand. We could get you 65,000, and you could come here and be the guy that we think you could be. So for 65,000, you could be Himothy over here. You could be Himothy over here, 65, instead of playing with Ohio State for 100K and possibly never seeing the field. And the whole purpose is to get tape so you can make it to the NFL. Or, shit, you use this as a launching pad. We sign you for a 5-star athlete. You come here, you make 65 cash, and then you transfer. We live in a transfer portal society anyway. But there's ways that they can do it. They just lazy and raggedy as hell and act like they don't know what the hell they doing. Shit, hire me. I hire me to do the whole thing. I'll show y'all how to do this, man. Well, matter of fact, just pay me under the table, because I know how y'all do. Like, and it's hard to say about my own people, man. Like, we just don't do business right. We don't. And that's another deterrent when it comes to these schools. Like, even with Deion Sanders, he was supposed to get a percentage of the ticket sales because they couldn't pay him what coaches are supposed to be paid at his caliber. So they told Deion Sanders, hey, we hold the $60,000 capacity seating. So any seats over like 27,000, that's all you, baby. That's all you, kids. So we got 60,000 people in the stands, and any ticket after like 27,000, that's all you, kid. We want to just hit you off. You feel me? Because we don't got that type of cash to be blessing you. You know what I'm saying? We're going to treat this like church. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get yours straight from the pulpit. You heard? The pastor offering. You know what I'm saying? And they was trying to give him that. And he said he didn't even get that. He like, yo, I looked in the stands, it's packed. What's up with this check? What's up with this check? So tighten up the business. Let's stop being so lazy and raggedy on how we do business at our schools, because our schools matter. This is why my critique is so harsh when it comes to our schools. We have all this prestige, we got all this history in our schools, but we don't handle the business. We don't take care of our sports when sports is attached to the business. If you have a great sporting team, football, and especially, a basketball team and especially a football team, your school makes money. The engagement goes up. Your student body goes up. It's simple math. So get it together. It's just a raggedy, just raggedy. It's just straight raggedy. Straight raggedy. Shout out to the chat. Y'all going in the chat. Rashida, as 4 or 5-star player, do you get paid for this straight out of high school? No. So this is how it works. When you're going from high school to college, right? You do get an NIL deal. So you don't have to wait to get to college to get that NIL deal. That was the question. But you can't, prior to, you had to basically sign on with a college to get the NIL deal. So when they recruit you, so for Ohio State, again, I'm using Ohio State as an example, their NIL package is very lucrative if you're a 4 or 5-star player and they really want you. If they really want you, they like, yo, our NIL package for you, it's $1 million. And most players is going to say, where do I sign? But then you have some players that get an offer from Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, Texas. That's not an easy conversation, because now these are the big boys. You're going to get 500,000, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. You're like, oh, you say what? You say who? Yeah. So you get that a part of your recruiting package. So within your recruiting, It's supposed to be like, well, if you come to our school, this is what you get, NIL deal. That's how it's supposed to go. But the reason why I said previously, I just covered a story earlier with Nike as a brand, instead of waiting for the school, just recently, Nike signed 11 of the top high school football players while they're in high school now. So that's going to take a different dynamic, because if they're with Nike now, if a school really wants them and they're sponsored by Adidas, they are now out of the conversation. Because if you're a Nike player and you're at that school and they wear Adidas, you can't wear Adidas. Like, yo, I get paid to wear Nike, bro. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about. So you can't go to that school. Now, if you really like the school, you can't go unless you're willing to give up that money on it and that deal. And nobody ain't giving up no money on that no deal at 16, 17 years old. Let's just keep it funky. So that's why that matters. She said, the school is not brand raggedy. You being funny. I love it. Was sending an NIL dog shit. Why waste the entire athletic budget chasing 5-star who will transfer to Alabama or Georgia after a single season? Why would you do that? Because you bring more money to your school within the time that they have. It's called a system. You don't do it one time. That's how these schools got big. They didn't do it one time. They did it over and over again. It's a system. All these big name schools wasn't big name schools this whole time. I'm telling you what I know. These schools had to build up. They had to build that shit up. And the thing about our schools, as far as historic black colleges, universities, we have an illustrious alumni. Where's the money? Where's the branding? Where is it? And the reason why it's not attached properly is because we raggedy as fuck when it comes to dealing with business with our own. When we do business with other people, it'd be great because we look at it different. But when we do business with us, people looking for the deals. People looking for the, hey brother, come on, man. I know you looking for that $1 million, NIL, but we got 25,000 for you. Come on, brother, do it for the culture, man. It's business. It's business, bro. Come on now. That's one thing we do to each other. We want to lack the business when we see the brother man in position. No, we have to do business properly, period. And we have too much excellence in our culture not to uphold at least a few schools, at least with some NIL, so that they could compete in sports, because sports is the main progenitor for schools. That's where they get all the money for the schools. If you go to a school like Florida, as beautiful as Florida is, it's built off the sports. Florida is only Florida because it's built off the sports. But you have to invest in the sports to make money from the sports. That's how that go. That's just how that go. That's not bad. Need to still getting paid, but do try be. They've been doing that on purpose, holding black people back. It's not they, it's us. It's us. It's not they, it's us. Just pay you under the table. You so funny. I'm serious though. Like that's how we do. We want it for the cheap, or we want it for the free when they come to us. But when we do business with the others, I got that. You trying to play me cheap? I got that. I pull up with that thing. I throw this bag at you. All this money and technology, there should be no shorts to whoever. I'm sick of the games, man. That's a fact, and that's my main thing when it comes to our schools. When I say our schools, and you pull up to our schools, it's ran raggedy, and the ones that are not ran raggedy, they don't do business with HCBU, with y'all got me saying it wrong. HBCUs anymore. I brought up Hampton. I brought up NC, North Carolina A&T. They don't do business with other, historically black colleges anymore. They don't. They don't, because they don't need to. They don't run the school raggedy. We don't want to attach our shit to y'all shit. Y'all run y'all shit raggedy. We upper class over here. We send people to the NFL over here. We get money over here. We invest into our school, into our sport. And when people come here, they actually want to be here. It's not a transfer portal. And then I also gave credit to Delaware State. I remember Delaware State recruited me when I was in high school. But even now, they don't run their program raggedy. They still playing against other historically black schools, but they don't run their shit raggedy. Their coach is Deshaun Jackson. They don't run their shit raggedy. Norfolk State, they just hired Michael Vick as their head coach. They don't run their shit raggedy. That's why, because the whole conversation is about 4 or 5 star players not going to the school, or them not even trying to recruit 4 or 5 star players, because they know what time it is. Most 4 or 5 star players been on different campuses and they don't see a raggedy situation. They be like, damn, this shit is nice. When I went, I ain't gonna hold you. The only allure for me when I went to Delaware State, when I got recruited to Delaware State and I went on my visit, the only allure was the women. I ain't gonna hold y'all. The women was just like, oh my God, this is every day? I was just cheesing, like, you know what I'm saying, just smiling. Just smiling, just cheesing, you know what I'm saying? Just having a good time. When we gonna go to breakfast? I'm asking all the questions, where the chicks gonna be at? You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Forget running the football. Where the chicks gonna be? You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to know. You know? It's a good time over there, yeah. You know? That was the law for me. It wasn't the campus. It wasn't the field. It wasn't the teachers. I got introduced to a couple professors. I don't care about this dude. Oh yeah, he knew Jackie Robinson. Great. When are we gonna have lunch? When are we gonna get to these ladies at? You know? We talk about the Jackie Robinson guy later. You know? I'll find that interesting when I come here or something like that. We need to get to where my interest is at right now. You know? See what I'm saying? But when you go to other schools and you see what they have to offer, then when you come to our schools, it's just raggedy. And again, when you go to a place like Hampton, Hampton is beautiful. My father graduated from Hampton. He was trying to get me to go to Hampton ever since forever. He was like, yo, you got to go to Hampton to play football. I'm like, nah, I don't want to go there. You went there. What do that mean? I want to make my own legacy, sir. It's you know, it's cool. Cool with you, cool. You know what I'm saying? But the point that I'm making, Hampton wasn't raggedy. It was a nice school. There's some of our schools that it's absolutely great places, but they don't do business with us anymore. They don't. And I see why. Because we don't do business with each other well. And that's the main purpose. When we start doing that, then getting 4 or 5 star athletes won't even be an issue. You have coaches that can really coach in these leagues. You have players that can really play. But to get a 4 or 5 star athlete, your shit has to be in order. It has to be in order. So that's the main thing in what I'm saying regarding 4 or 5 star athletes as far as HBCUs. It's just, I hate seeing us being ran raggedy. And honestly, since Deion Sanders, Coach Prime left Jackson State, nobody has even talked about any of the HBCUs. Hasn't even had the same coverage. Mind you, he showed the template on what it takes to run it successfully. And we've had other people run it successfully, but they're not Deion Sanders. So they just need to stop being lazy and raggedy. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. Question. Should hip-hop mature? Question. Should hip-hop mature? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Should hip-hop mature? A shout out to Washida. She said they're supposed to add to make games better. They're always removing people favorite things each year. We still talking about the HSBU. We used to bring up this money to their schools. Oh yeah, their students are bringing all the money to the school because they're our children seeing when the brands and don't buy into their own. Okay, you just got more specific night. That's very important. We are we are raggedy doing business with our own, and that's so sad because it's it's the eldest stealing from the next generation. Yeah, we just gotta do better with business. Like even when I started in business, oh man, you got this going on. I know I'm gonna get a freebie, right? No, it's either you support or you don't. Alright, man, but come on, you gotta give me a discount. No, it's either you support or you don't. I have a friend that ran a restaurant. And I pulled up. He didn't know I was coming, but I pulled up to the restaurant. I'm like, yo, bro, I thought you was at the restaurant. Where you at? Oh, man, I had to go take care of this. All right, well, cool. I'm about to order some food. What's good here? Everything good. All right, I'm put my man on the phone. I'm going to tell him to give you a discount. No, I didn't come here to get no discount. I came here to support your restaurant. I came here to eat. I didn't ask for a discount. I came here to support you. If you're giving out discounts, how can you uphold your business? He was like, damn, bro. Yeah, that's how business work. It's business, not personal. It kills me that we could go into Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and spend all the money on, because you can't get no deal in there. Go in there and be like, hey, man, can I get a deal? No matter how beautiful your smile is, you can't get no deal. We don't do deals here. This is not the store for you. If you can't afford it, have a nice day. Oh, I can afford it. I was just saying if I could get a deal. Okay. And you paid for it, right? But when it comes to us, discount free. Question, y'all. Should hip-hop mature? Again, question, should hip-hop mature? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. In my opinion, should hip-hop mature? Yes. And not in the ways of what people are thinking. I think hip hop should mature in a sense where people should get appreciated for what they do, where they're at. People love to say, well, hip hop is a young man's sport and a young man's game and a young man's. It was started by young men, for sure. But some of these young men, or young men then, are now in their 50s and in their 60s. And I can't say to an elder who started something, who started being a rapper, hey man, watch out. I can't do that. Because without him, I wouldn't be here. Without him, we wouldn't be here. The younger brothers under than me would not be here. How dare I say something like that, or anybody say something, if the 60-year-olds and the 50-year-olds can't make a way after they done made a way? I can't tell them to get out the way. Where they do that at? If it wasn't for you and your inspiration, sir, I would not be here. If it wasn't for you wearing those sneakers with those jeans and singing and rapping the way that you did, I wouldn't have had anybody to identify to. And because I seen you do it, shit, I believe I can do it too. Thank you. And the time where they started rap, they took terrible deals. Oh my God. But they took these deals because this was the only deal that could be made. And this was a way of making something out of themselves. So obviously, they're not business savvy or as business savvy as we are today. Same thing with sports. Same as in music. For sure, like, as an independent artist, you don't need millions of fans. You don't. You just need people that really support you, a loyal base that really supports you. Period. And you're going to be good. But the point that I'm making is about impact. So how can we tell somebody that started, made a way, is supposed to get better through time, and now because they made a way, they are a legend, but they didn't get a chance to make the financial gains when they was younger, but now they get an opportunity to make financial gains as they get older, and we say, nah, it's a young man's game. No, it don't work that way. No. In other genres, rock and roll, and so on and so forth, it's cool. 65 years old, oh, y'all getting back after 30 years? Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, man, how old are y'all now? Oh, I'm 73. Oh, he's 65. He's 58. He's 92. And they can rock out at the average arena and center, and everybody would show up and support. Like, can you believe it? We saw 82-year-old such and such. He got nothing but gray hair, and he performed all his great songs that we don't even really relate to for real. Like, we wasn't around in his time, but we at the show and rocking to the songs. Ain't that beautiful? But when it comes to hip hop, oh, you 50? You still rapping? He acting like hip hop been around 100 years. The people who are 50 and 60 been around when hip hop started. They helped start hip hop. The money wasn't available as it is now with social media, but they still legends, and they should be able to make money and monetize off their image and likeness. So when they say should hip hop mature, that's the aspect I'm talking about. For sure. Because let's keep it real. How can something be led by just young people if just young people don't even have full life experience? If I did crack, I want to hear a rapper that did crack. I don't want to hear no clean rapper. You know what I mean? I want to hear, okay, I want to hear Pookie and how he got off, because I got off, but I want to hear the cracky stories. Yeah. I want to see the maturity in stages of life, because it matters. Experience matters. Because let's keep it real. Real adulthood really happens after your teenage and your 20 years. Because your teenage years, you're still young enough for people to care about you. Yeah. 20s, they care about you if you pass away in your 20s. Oh, he was 26. Oh, he was so young. Passed away. Damn. They'll show up to the funeral. People don't care for real. Once you get to your 30s, that's when life really hit. Yo, you got paid on bills. People don't care if you die or breathe or nothing. Because you so engulfed in life. And to hear people that's battle tested, going through life and then putting it on wax, why wouldn't you want to hear that? Why wouldn't you want to hear that creative space? So should hip hop mature in that aspect as well too? It's okay to have different array of hip hop styles and hip hop ages, especially the people who are older in hip hop started hip hop. The generations is not the same. Now, there's a difference between era and generation. Case in point, me and my daughter is a part of two different eras. We in the same generation, but two different eras. Me and my dad is not only a part of two different eras, we're a part of two different generations. What do that mean, Ash? My pops wasn't listening to hip hop. What? No. I said R&B ball. R&B ball. That's funk. He funk. That's funk. R&B and funk ball. My grandfather, whole nother generation. That's jazz and the original rock and roll, and before rock and roll, the original gospel. My grandfather was born in the 30s. That's a complete different generation. Hip hop, you have different eras all a part of the same damn generation. And what do that mean? In this level in time, in 2026, you have grandfathers that's a part of hip hop. You have great grandfathers that was a part of hip hop, especially if your great grandfather was born in the in the 70s, and he made music a part of that first generation of hip hop. So should hip hop mature? Yes. In the thinking of not just the music content, how we look at hip hop artists as far as their age and what they're pushing. And it's not just a young man's game. Especially when hip hop is the youngest form of music. Hasn't been around long. Hasn't been around long. So yes, the mindset should mature. Andre 3000 had came out years back and said hip hop is a young man's sport. It's hip. It's supposed to be led by young men. I completely agree with that. That take is absolute dog shit to the legend. Absolute dog shit. He's giving himself an excuse to not do hip hop and to bring out a flute album. I didn't listen to the flute album. Don't care about him playing the flute. Now, if you'd have dropped the damn album, I would have cared about that. I would like to hear Andre 3000 album. Am I looking for one? Fuck no. But because he's a legend and because of his work and history of giving great music, if he dropped the album tomorrow, I'm listening to it. Hip hop album. Because his perspective in hip hop, in his mind, he's been battle tested in life and not just in music, that his type of game would relay on wax. That's another reason why I will forever be a fan of Jay-Z. He's my GOAT, pause. Because at each stage of the game, he finds a way to say from his perspective and mature with the music. He's not trying to do 19 and 20-year-old stuff. Now, when I hear artists who are in their 50s and they talking about 19-year-old stuff, it's like Arrested Development, brother. It's okay to grow up. It's all right. You're not outside shooting anybody. It's all right. It's cool. You're doing well for yourself. You're in the suburbs. Let's rap about that. Let's update this resume a little bit. But should hip-hop mature? Yeah. But not in a sense where it's phasing out younger artists. We need each other. That's what makes something special and great. That's what makes it a fraternity. It becomes a legacy. Because we need each other. 20 years from now. Because everybody think they're young right now. 20 years from now. You're going to be older 20 years from now. And you were like, damn, I remember 20 years ago I was young. It was young. In the eyes of everybody else. But that doesn't mean what you did at this time wasn't important if you did something important. You'll forever be a part of history. And no matter how old you get, there's a space and place for you that matters. So when you talk, people should shut the fuck up and listen. Same thing in hip hop. So when they say hip hop, should hip hop mature? Asking the question, should hip hop mature? Yes. But not at the expense where we're phasing out younger artists completely. There's a space for younger artists. There's a space for older artists. There's a space for veteran artists. There's a space for mainstream artists, independent artists. There's a space for everybody. So at the end of the day, should hip hop mature? Yes. In those particular aspects. A shout out to the chat. Y'all going in the chat. Everyone, hello, everyone, every heart must mature. That question is so crazy and sad. I feel sad about what happened to hip hop. Hip hop is over 50 years old now. It has to mature because the pioneers and the fans who grew up with it aren't 19 anymore. We need music that reflects the actual life stages of adulthood. I made that point too. I am saying people who got the HBCU running raggedy to say people who don't want hip hop to mature. It's a mass game they play. Uh, they are very. I see it. I see them very clearly. I agree with that. I agree with that. I wouldn't say the same exact people, but I know what you're saying though. Yes, there is there is an invested interest to see hip hop at its worst because they promote artists who are, for lack of better words, raggedy. They promote all the negative stereotypes. But I have to give a caveat to this. Because we live in the stage and place that we live in right now. We live in the information stage, the social media stage. You cannot depend on gatekeepers. We don't live in that world anymore. We don't live in a world where we can't wait to get home to watch 106 in Park anymore. Why we don't have to wait for 106 in Park. We go straight to YouTube. We go straight to the internet. We don't have to wait on listening to the radio at our favorite station at 8 a.m. in the morning anymore. Nope. The streaming services, we could go for that. We could buy our own CDs. We don't have gatekeepers anymore, so the people that they push in front of us can be easily dismissed by the stroke of a left by saying, hey, boop, I'm not interested. Not interested. So when anytime you see an artist that's being promoted, and obviously this artist is being promoted because of the negative stereotypes that they do and say and promote, the people who are great at being an artist, you should still know their name. You should still be looking for them. You don't need gatekeepers to tell you who's a good artist. And that's the stage and place that we live in today. You don't need gatekeepers anymore. We don't have them anymore. We don't have them. Go on the internet. You can find great artists all over the place. I'm not talking to my own horn, but the point that I'm making, you have a whole bunch of artists everywhere. It's not even a big deal about people being independent, major. It's not underground. It's not even a big deal anymore because realistically, all that shit is all one level. The only differential is whether you're a battle rapper or a studio artist. That's the only real differential. Some artists do both, but they don't do both well. But there's guys that really are battle rap monsters. But if you ask them to get in the booth, it'd be like, yo, dude, I can't do this. Yeah, nah, it's not. It don't hit the same. And there's guys that work in the booth that come up with something. They cook in the booth. Asking a battle rap is like, it's not what I do, right? So there's a space and place for everybody. But when they say should hip hop mature, yes, absolutely. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Y'all hitting in the chat. Shout out to Kiso, Washida. I seen Big Paul. Shout out to y'all in the chat. I seen CC. You better talk. You better talk about it. Can't you see the hate on what melanated created? You better talk about it, Ashley Lovechild. That part. I appreciate that. That's love. I love that. I appreciate that. Because we have to have these conversations and we have to be real, because I hate when somebody allows other people to dictate their life. I know this is going to sound messed up, y'all, but I remove myself from people that let other people dictate their life. It sounds messed up. I mean, people that I consider friends, and I can't be around that type of shit. I can't be around the, hey, they did this, and that stopped me from doing what I need to do. So you let another motherfucker stop what you need to do? I ain't built like that. I'm too aggressive. And I ain't the only one that's that aggressive. And you don't have to be aggressive to make shit happen for you and your family. That's just straight desire. I don't know, when I want something, that's one thing. Again, I'm not trying to talk about me, but when I want something, I'm going to do that shit. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Ain't nothing nobody could do about to stop it, because it's going to happen. I'm going to do it, goddammit. My father always used to say, he said, once you get it in your head, you going to do that shit. I tried telling you, I don't even try saying nothing to you no more. This is when he was alive. I don't even try saying nothing to you, because once you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. Good or bad. If you're going to crash out, somebody called the cops. This kid is crazy. My mother always used to say, she said this on her deathbed. She said, the only thing I'm worried about is when you let the devil speak to you, you listen. And I'm like, and that always stuck with me. So that helped me make really great decisions as an adult. Because when she said that on her deathbed, she said, the only thing I'm worried about is when you let the devil talk to you, you listen. That means you know what I mean? Like, so with that simply saying, I don't let people hold me back, you know? That's the point that I'm trying to make. But I can't be around people that allow other people to dictate their lifestyle. Things happen to people all the time. And the people that I know that's successful in life, they don't let what other people say stop them. They don't let other people trying to do to get them off their game to stop this shit. Nah, what? Oh, that's an obstacle? Oh, yeah, that was cute. You needed that to help you out. You did that to help you out. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to get there, because this ain't on you. This on God. So, yeah, you can't be around people that allow other people or other things to stop them. That's a fact. Shout out to Ashita. That's growth. They do not want to see us grow. The same people behind dealing with them, HSBUs, the same people. Asked a question about hip-hop haters. Hip-hop came out in the 70s, I think 72 to be exact, right after Martin Luther King was murdered. Hip-hop hit the fans. Yes and yes. Yeah, see, and just to button up this conversation in total, as far as the hip hop conversation, all aspects of hip hop is needed, not just in styles. And what I mean by styles, meaning like styles of music, right? We could appreciate, and I'm just going to name artists because they're different styles. It's not because who's great or bad or whatever, but just as styles. We could appreciate a Fabulous. We could appreciate a Designer. We could appreciate a Pitbull. We could appreciate a Jadakiss. We could appreciate a Ashley Lovechild. We could appreciate a Eminem. We could appreciate a Wu-Tang Clan, all in the same universe. I mention all of it because it's all different type of styles, all in the same universe. And at the same time, age should not matter when it comes to who is on top of their game. On top of your game is on top of your game. The fans pick who they want to hear and listen to. That's how that just always should work. But regardless of what lane you in, there's still a lane for you to eat without no type of hate, because you eating, I'm eating. Simple and plain. And you could appreciate the music all the same. You don't appreciate a KRS-One without having a Soulja Boy. Let that hit y'all. You can't appreciate a KRS-One without having a Soulja Boy. There's people that like Soulja Boy music now and when it came out and when he came out. KRS-One is a legend. We need the different styles in hip hop. I don't care if you like it or not. It's not about what you like. It's about appreciating the styles. And it's all needed because there's no way you can appreciate this artist without having that artist. You may not like this artist, but because you don't like this artist, you appreciate this one even more. Hip hop can never be the same. Everybody can't be the same. That's the beauty of hip hop. And one of the things that most hip hop artists do now that really it bothers me, mainly because they take it away from themselves. Most hip hop artists don't use their own voice. Most hip hop artists don't use their own voice. I'll say most younger hip hop artists don't use their own voice. Anytime I'm signing an artist or dealing with a new artist, as far as music, and they like, yeah, you got that auto-tune. I do, but you don't need it. Use your voice. The most powerful thing any artist have is their own voice. Period. And I'll leave that there. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. Spider-Man Brand New Day movie review without the spoilers. I won't spoil this for you. I won't do that for you. But I did see Spider-Man A Brand New Day. It took me some time to watch the movie. I was absolutely upset because when the movie came out Wednesday night, I'm in Florida, so you know we get a little bit like, So when it came out Wednesday night, I could not get a ticket until Monday. There's no way that all the tickets for Spider-Man Brand New Day is sold out until Monday. And it was sold out. Now, they did have a couple seats for the earlier matinee show, but two things. I had to sit at the very front, and everybody knows those are the worst seats ever. When you sit up at the very front, your neck is all the way up here like that. And two, a Spider-Man movie at 12 o'clock, you know ain't gonna be nothing but kids up in there acting the damn fool, going crazy. So, yeah, nah. I could not get a ticket until Monday. And well worth the wait. Spider-Man Brand New Day. No spoilers. Just a review. Certified fire. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give Spider-Man A Brand New Day a 9.1. Fire movie. Fire movie. I can even up that to 9.4. Fire movie. I will say this. Cinematography. Oh my goodness. Them angles, crazy. You could actually watch that movie without words. That's how you know a movie's good. You ever watch a movie on mute and it's 30 minutes in and you still haven't turned the volume up? And you're like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? Why the volume not up? Where's the controller? Turn this up. You ever watch a movie for 30 minutes without the volume and it's good as you're like, yo, it's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. You're like, yo, where's the controller? What am I doing with my life right now? Why is this not up? You could watch that whole movie on mute. And mind you, the movie, it was kind of long, but it didn't feel long, to be honest with you. It was a really good movie. I won't spoil it for you. I won't tell you who's in it. I won't tell you who's not in it. I will say this. Great visuals. Tom Holland did an amazing job. I think this was probably the most personal Spider-Man, mainly because it felt like we dealt with Spider-Man. It felt like we dealt with Spider-Man, not Peter Parker. We felt like we dealt with Spider-Man. And some people like, was the one in the same? Nah. We dealt with Peter Parker. We didn't deal with Spider-Man. And if you haven't seen it, based on those words when you watch it, it will hit you when you're watching it. Great movie. The acting was really good. Zendaya was really good. She was really good, or really. And I don't know, maybe because they're married in real life. And I didn't know that until after the movie. I'm like, they married? Oh, damn, that makes sense. Damn, this is acting. Like, they put on the best performance ever, but this shit felt real right here. It was that good. So, you know, it was a definitely good movie. The visuals was great. The villain in this one is very unexpected. The villain in this one is very unexpected, and this is probably the best villain Spider-Man had to face. When you see the movie, you'll see why. Villain was excellent, and anytime you have a movie like this, when it comes superhero movie, the villain got to be popping, and they had a popping villain in this movie. What else can I say that's not gonna spoil it for y'all? You don't have to stay for the end credit. I will say that. You don't. That's not even a spoiler. You could just leave. Just leave. That's why I brought that 10 to 9.1. I go 9.4, but that's why I brought that down. But yeah, the end credit, you can leave. You can leave. You can leave. It was important, but like, there's other stuff we seen that we ain't really need that. They just threw that in there just to throw that in there. Like, we didn't even really need that for real. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't one of those. It was like, you know what I'm saying? You're going to waste 10 minutes. But yes, the acting was really excellent. Marissa Tomei was excellent as well. What's crazy, my mom and her dad used to work together at Supreme Court of New York. And she was excellent in the movie as well too. So it's a must-see, in my opinion. If you haven't seen it, go see it. And see it in theaters. Spider-Man is the type of movie that you have to see in theaters. Not on stream. It's a good streaming movie, but it's better to see in theaters. Especially this Spider-Man movie. It is excellent. So make sure y'all tap in. And that's my Spider-Man review for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Shout out to Cece. I don't even go to the movie theaters no more, especially if I know it's going to be packed. See, I don't mind packed. It depends on the movie, but I get what you're saying, because you want to be comfortable. You want to, and even like I was sitting at the edge, and these like 3 older kids were sitting next to me, and I gotta remember sometime, like, I'm a super grown ass man, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I got a daughter that's 23. So when I see like the youngins sit next to me, I look at them like grown men. You see what I'm saying? And I almost snapped on them like a grown man, but it's like, damn, you old enough to be my son. So one of the kids, like, he farted, right? And then the kid next to him was just like laughing, and I just like looked at him. And they was lucky they sat like a good solid 2 seats away from me, because if they was like sitting like, you know what I mean? Spider-Man in the movie, it would have been Spider-Man in the theater. See what I'm saying? Care how old you is. You up this late? Yeah, you grown. You can get suplex and a headlock in theater. You old enough to do that without repercussion if you're going to be doing stuff like that. So, you know, I get what you're saying. Sometimes on this pack, you got immature people. You got people with poor movie etiquette. That's the one thing I hate, though. Going to a movie, especially something I want to see, and people got poor movie etiquette, because I'm one of them people, I would say something to you. Hey, you disrupting the movie, bro. Get it together. I'm just saying. And it was crazy too. I was dating somebody recently, and she was like that too. You know what I'm saying? She was like that too. She was kind of tall too. She was about my height. She was about like five. I'm 5'11". She was like 5'10". She was kind of tall, and we was at the movie theater, and she was like, "Excuse me, you're disrupting us. We're trying to watch the movie." And then they looked at me, cause I be having that crazy look in my. I'm kind of crazy, y'all. Like I know I don't look it, y'all, but hey, ask all the people that know me. And they looked at me like, yeah, he looked kind of crazy. No problem. And they went about their day. And we watching the movie. Good time. You know what I'm saying? But I hate people with poor movie etiquette too. Especially people that bring that damn baby to an adult movie at you at the 11 o'clock show, man. Why are you in that baby in here? Take your ass home. Take that baby home. Ain't it crying? That's your baby. We ain't had that baby with you. Stream this shit. Why we gotta be in here with you and your baby crying? And instead of getting up and taking the baby to the bathroom, walking the baby, oh no, we gotta endure the cry. The last movie I went to, and the baby was crying, the crowd yelled out, and maybe because I was in Brooklyn, get that baby out of here. In Brooklyn, we don't care about none of that. Get that baby out of here. We done paid $23 for this movie, yo. Get that baby out of here, yo. I'm serious. So I hate people with poor movie etiquette. Dope movie, finally. MCU Spider-Man movie that doesn't feel like he's riding an Iron Man's coattail. Pure street level perfection. Oh, so you must have seen the movie. You must have seen the movie. Ashley, pray for Ashley. Laugh my asshole. I'm just picturing how that would have looked. Like your reaction. Nah, you, bro, bro. And I'm not a small dude neither. Like I'm not talking about just height. I got a little weight on me. I got a little size on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, we come outside for all that. You know what I'm saying? 2026. You know what I'm saying? It's hard out here. Everything we do is hard. Pause. You know what I'm saying? I want to enjoy this shit. I ain't come to hear you fart. I didn't come to hear that baby cry. I didn't come to hear you have a conversation. Oh, hell no. You having a conversation? Dude, you mean to tell me you came to the movie, you paid your $23, get in the theater to have a conversation. Yo, bro, get the hell up out of here with that, bro. We didn't pay for that. That wasn't on the menu. In call phones in the movie. Get the hell up out of here. People be having poor movie etiquette. That's why most people I think that's more the reason why most people don't go to the movie theaters. Not necessarily because the movies are ass, is because people got poor movie etiquette. When I lived in Brooklyn, I just went to the movies because I love movies. But you have a good time at the movies. But when people have poor movie etiquette, yo, you will suplex somebody in between the seats. And just leave them there back all broken. Like, hey, you shouldn't have picked up your phone. Shouldn't have said nothing. Yeah, man. Shout out to y'all though. Yeah, in Brooklyn, you will get jumped in the movie theaters just for sneezing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We'll play that in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? You sneeze, oh hell no. Yo, pack him up. You know what I'm saying? Into the movie theaters looking good, leave looking like Sid from the Ice Age. You know what's funny though? If you ever seen the movie, cause I love this movie because it had New York City movie theaters at the time, at least from what my father used to tell me. The movie, oh my God, what's the movie with the Last Dragon? He said, yo, there used to be movie theaters that used to be like how The Last Dragon was in the movie theaters. Like you had popcorn throwing everywhere. It was just straight ruckus, just rampant in the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, ain't no way I could go to a movie theater like that. But Brooklyn is wild. If you don't shut what they call the hell up, or somebody gonna come see you. What Riley said in Boondocks, you thought somebody will come see you? It's like the taste out your mouth. Yo, shut up. We trying to watch the movie, yo. Yo, y'all laughing at me. Chat. Make sure y'all hit them likes, hit them 100s. It definitely helps with the growth of the show. So that was my Spider-Man review. All right, moving on to our next segment, Keep the Lie Alive. So my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode is be aware of the clickbait. Be aware of the clickbait. And the reason why I bring this up, because recently Clarissa Shields was on a radio interview, I believe in Atlanta, and they was asking her some pretty personal questions about her relationship and Papoose, and the way they worded the questions was really funny style. Clarissa Shields still answered it in a very professional manner, and that should have been the end of the interview. The interviewers took heed to take a shot at Clarissa Shields after the interview, after she done left. So when you have an interview and they ask hard questions and you answer it, even if it's not to your liking, they still answered it, then that should be the end of it. The only thing you should be speaking from that interview is the recap. When you start saying things that you cannot prove, or when you're saying things based on a one-sided motion and movement or note, then the person that you interviewed is going to look at you sideways. They're going to look at you like you phony and fake. They're going to look at you as if it's just clickbait. So beware of the clickbait. And sometimes people try to clickbait you, because I honestly believe this particular radio personality and their show within the group of people that they're doing the show to, nobody knows what their show is or worldwide. But when you interview a Clarissa Shields and then you talk about her negatively, having one note after the fact that she left, after y'all done had that same conversation face to face, and that same energy wasn't applied face to face, one, you're going to be looked at as a bad interviewer, and on top of that, people are going to look at you like you're shady. So no matter what conversation we have face to face, when I leave, you're going to throw a negative spin. Now, I have to be honest. If this was a man talking about another man, which most men won't do something like that, because there's a low level of violence amongst men, you will get punched in the eye next time I see you. If we're having a conversation and the conversation has to be tough, and you may not like the way I answer the question, but I answered the question, and you talk about me once I leave, like he really thought he was popping. He really like I was like, oh, but you didn't have that same energy. Oh, okay, cool. So when I see you next time, keep that same energy, because then that shows fake behavior. Me personally, I can't operate like that. If I'm going to talk about what I did after in the interview with that person, I'm just recapping. But if I put out an energy that's one note that's not favorable, and I didn't have that same energy when that person was in front of me, I have to be on the lookout for some sort of recourse from that person. And this is easy to see when it comes to the clickbait. Because now, if I'm struggled, I'm looking for something to say. I already did your interview. Okay, I might not see you for the next 5 months. Within that 5 months, I'm going to get all the views by speaking bad about you, because why? It's the clickbait. You better not respond. Oh, guess what? Clarissa should respond. Damn. Now I wonder who this radio personality is. Clickbait. It's all about the clickbait. So beware of the clickbait, y'all. And sometimes the clickbait could be you. Whether that's in your personal life or entertainment life or business life, the clickbait can actually be you. So beware of the clickbait. Shout out to the chat. Y'all going in the chat. What they said? Yeah, Brooklyn, you'll get jumped in the movie theaters for sneezing. And so I got that one already. Make sure y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s. It definitely helps with the growth of the show. But But yes, Clarissa is a multi-division world champion, and what did they say? And they're inviting her on air. Oh, so she's a multi-division champion, and they're inviting her on air just to gossip about her love life. Disrespectful. Yeah, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, people love life is public, especially when you're a public figure. When you put your relationship out, people are going to talk about it, whether it's good or bad. I'm not speaking on the angle from what's good or what's bad in her relationship. Her relationship is her relationship. Just like whoever that lady is smashing, that's who they smashing. My stress of aspect or principle is how can you have an interview with somebody, have the tough conversation, say what you say in front of them, but then you switch it up when they leave, as if you had that same type of energy. And that leaves in the taste, a bad taste, not just in that person's eyes. And mind you, Clarissa Shields is not a nobody. She's the world champ. She's the champ. She's universally known as the champ for women. She's the GOAT, right? She's the champ. So she's not nobody. She's accomplished a lot in the sport of boxing. Period. So she's not nobody on the show. She's not on the show, but she's not nobody in real life. So she matters. And even after she does their interview, she's going to go on to do great things. But when other celebrities look at that, they're not going to want to interview with her. They're not going to want to deal with her. And then one of her friends jumped out the room, Eva Marcel, or Eva Pigfoot, whatever she goes by, the model, beautiful woman, but she jumped out the window. She spoke against Clarissa Shields, basically saying that, wait, that's my homegirl. You know, it was kind of like, yo, watch how you talking to her. We don't play about her. Like Eva, you're a model. None of y'all doing nothing with Clarissa. Like, what are we talking about? Ain't none of y'all ain't doing nothing with no Clarissa. When it come to fighting, like, let's not do that. Speak on the aspect on just having a straight value system when you're interviewing somebody, and keeping the interview. And if you're going to speak on it, recap and not have a one-sided note where you're speaking on a person and you didn't have that same energy in front of the person. That matters. And I know a person like Eva Pickford has been through it in her own career, in her own life. So the point that I'm making is she's not going to stop. If Clarissa wanted to snuff that lady, Eva Pickford couldn't stop that. Oh, don't snuff her. You going to get snuffed too. You gonna pick her up. She gonna get knocked out. Pick her up. You gonna be a friend? Pick her up. Like, let's keep this real. What are you gonna do? Say what you say on social media, and when people say things on social media like this, they looking for what? The clickbait. Because whatever she say or whatever she do, she can't stop what will happen in the situation. She won't be able to control the outcome. So let your principles be your principles when you're interviewing somebody and when you're having a non-biased opinion based on the question that you're asking. That's why you're in the position that you're in. And sometimes when you're in media, you have to ask the tough questions that most people want to know. And your wording, even if your wording is funny style, when somebody's professional, they'll still find a way to answer it. But have that same energy when they leave. Keep that same energy, because now if you see them tomorrow, then what? It'll get real quiet, right? The streets it get real humble like. Oh, you took what I said out of, nah. See, and that's what I'm saying is, I don't know, maybe it's just different with men. We keep that same energy. Because if you talking tough and talking crazy when somebody leaves, it's like, yeah, you wasn't saying all that. For men, We pull each other card quick. Hey, bro, you wasn't saying all that. You ever heard a story about somebody getting into an altercation and then somebody leave and they tell the story when that person's there? They're like, yo, if, I swear to God, yo, I had him shook, bro. I had him shook. I said, yo, you say one more thing, I'm gonna slap the taste out of you. Somebody that was really, bro, you know you didn't say that. That's like the movie. What's the movie? Coming to America. Man, you know you ain't never met no Frank Sinatra. Like you wasn't on that type of time. You wasn't. So keep that same energy and be aware of the clickbait. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Washida, she said facts. Now, at the end of the day, keep that same energy and be aware of the clickbait. Man, I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all been absolutely amazing. This has been episode 281. Again, I'm Ashley Lovechild. This is the Brothas Get a Rap podcast. You can link me on all social media platforms. Just type in Ashley Lovechild, and all my stuff will just pop up. We got new music coming. We got the new OUV Records app coming on the way directly to y'all as the supporters that show major love. And we got some fire music on the way. I promise. And y'all been saying it early in the chat that y'all need some new music, and it's on the way. I promise y'all. The only reason why it's been a delay because I refuse to go through Apple. I refuse to go through Spotify any longer. No. So I feel like there's ways to get y'all the music that's a better listening experience, a better visual experience. And I feel like I'm about to change the course on how other artists move their music based on what we're about to do with the OUV Records app. And y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. One day y'all might give me the credit, but whether I get the credit or not, that doesn't matter as long as the culture of hip hop matures. See how that go? So be on the lookout for that. Again, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps. Again, where you get to find some movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. A stain is somebody that try to stand out by being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. Hate has a location, and it's just not here. I love y'all to life. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Continue to support, like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. I do drop videos daily, so continue to engage in the videos, leave comments, and like I said, I love y'all to life, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm on every Sunday, every Wednesday at 10:30, and y'all already know it's love. And I'm gonna see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. I'm out. And shout out to the chat. My bad. Shout out to the chat. Chat. Damn, I forgot the African word for, what was it? Nah, I forgot. Brain freeze. But shout out to the chat. Y'all the MVPs. Shout out to the chat. Love y'all. Love y'all to life. I'm out.